Hello, welcome to Soulprint Insights. Really glad you're here today. As you can see, Jerry is having his afternoon siesta, so we'll just let him do that. Thank you so much for being here. So, um, it's been very interesting the last little while because, I try to not get too political on this channel because I have another channel that does that. But it's been very interesting to me um, that the Biden Harris campaign has now it started with, we're in this for the soul of the nation, and the message is shifting now to, this is sort of a fight between light and dark. And I find that fascinating because, of course, that's what we're talking about all the time, right? Is this sort of energy fight, if you will, that's going on between the heavier, darker forces and the lighter, brighter forces, the more positive ones. And um, the whole fifth dimension shift and how this is all fitting in and playing in. So I just found it really intriguing that that sort of became the choice of words for one of their messages. It's absolutely accurate, but and it's a good reflection. But I thought it was just fascinating that even sort of in the political arena, the energy, if you will, of the fifth dimension and the coming changes and the awareness that it's absolutely imperative that white, bright, positive energy filled with love and acceptance and compassion, inclusivity, all of it, is kind of like, you know, part of the message. And there really is this sense that one side is hopeful and forward looking, and one side is a lot more negative and likes to incite fear and anger and resentment. So you have, like, really, politically, you honestly have in the United States this really perfect example of a fight or a battle. I really don't like those words, but sometimes I just can't find one that is not quite that aggressive, um, between the two aspects and the two sides. So I thought to myself, it might be a really good idea to just direct channel Masudius and see if we can gain some insight from him, um, just more broadly speaking, about the battle between the two sides, if you will, or the two energies, and what that looks like here and what it maybe looks like cosmically as they watch over us. So I am going to just settle for a second and get myself ready to receive the Masudius information. And as always, the Masudius channeled information is copyrighted under my personal name. But I think that this is going to be insightful. So here we go. Let me just chill out a little bit and welcome Masudius. Greetings. We are, as always, honored and delighted when you call upon us directly looking for additional guidance or insight. It is our honor to assist and provide this information in any way that we can. So, the question about light and dark as you deem it, as you see it. And understand these are words, light and dark, positive and negative. What in fact you have going on here is two energy fields, two forces of energy that are constantly being fed. They are being fed one set of emotions in one place and one set of emotions in the other, all, of course, on the emotional spectrum. So on the one hand, you have fear, which is the motivator for, hate, distrust, violence, aggression. And then that spectrum moves from that very dark end to the middle ground, which is sort of not one or the other, but that lovely sort of shade of gray. And frankly, most humans live in that shade of gray. And that, frankly, is as it should be, because you are on the earth having earthbound experiences. And it is a challenge to learn to stay in that state of that far other end of the spectrum's emotions and energies. So, for the most part, the day-to-day existence is sort of a little of this and a little bit that, and a lot kind of straight down the middle of the road. And that's okay. That's a fabulous place to be. Now, the other end, of course, of the spectrum is love, compassion, guidance, support, empathy, equality. And so there you have these two force fields, and it's coming together, and they are literally um, fighting for supremacy. It's again, you are never going to have all of one or the other, but when we look at the spectrum of emotions, there are a lot of emotions on that lower vibrational energy. And frankly, the country of the United States, and by extension, the world, has been subjected to a great deal of this very selfish, very I'm in it for myself energy. And what has happened is, make no mistake, the light workers have been preparing for this time for a very, very, very long time. This was a event that in many ways was simply destined to happen on the Earth's surfaces as it has happened before, because that is part of the function of life and being on the planet Earth. It is about learning the balance between the two. It is coming to accept that it is all not one or the other, but in the center is where you find that harmony. And so many, many of you experience over the course of a life that sort of both sides of the same coin. We've talked about this before. How do you know generous if you're not, miserly? How do you know to give if you can't receive? How do you know health if you don't know sickness? It's the same kind of dance that is going on between these two energy forces. But like any good dance, somebody needs to lead, and the energy of the earth is now moving towards a very intense desire to have the more lighter and brighter vibrations push back, diminish some of that darker energy. And you know what? This is not a political statement for the time. This is a commentary on the planet of Earth. You have had wars on this planet as far back as time counts. There is hard energies and feelings and emotions that have sort of just been allowed to become normalized. And so it is the intention of the light workers, the light energy, all of those gathered to do this vital and important work, that some of the simply lower vibrational energies, very, very often connected to fear, which by extension is about, hate and I'm better than you, that sort of whole base of energy, it's all fear related because, of course, fear is the opposite of love. It is not hate because hate is based on and a reaction to fear, fear of change, fear of somebody or something. So it is not surprising that the political situation in the United States has brought about these candidates who literally speak and verbalize and by behavior and example reflect the side, if you will, that they are on. The movement towards moving things back into center, but leaning to the light as opposed to leaning to the dark. It's incredibly vital work that is being done. And the phraseology is starting to gain sort of everyday traction and acceptance. The whole idea of light versus dark. There was a time that the words evil versus good would have been used. But light and dark is a far more accurate distinction. Sayings like, with love and light, these kinds of expressions are an example of the energy, that light-filled energy coming down, surrounding and permeating the planet as all of yous move forward in the healing process of yourselves, your environment, your systems, and the earth as a whole. From our perspective, evolution moves very, very quickly. From yours, it is a very long process. So when we from the higher realms look at the earth and the earth's history, we see a very aggressive planet. We see an environment where it very much is sort of survival of the fittest. Where the energy is moving to now is for the whole, for the all. So survival of all, help for all, love for all. It is a hard process that you are going through. Many of you are from other realms. Many of you have dedicated literally millennium to light work and to helping others and embracing the light and raising the vibration of the light. But this is not a challenge for the weak, because as that other side of the spectrum starts to recognize that it is losing force, that less and less people buy into what those vibrations, those energies reflect, what they mean. They are losing that energy in and of itself is sort of losing power. It's losing traction. And so like any other sort of energy filled being situation, that energy is also going to fight as if its sort of existence is in danger, because frankly, while it will never be eradicated, it is definitely in danger of being significantly lessened. So those fighting for the light and those trying to move that center space into a lighter, brighter, higher energy and vibration are working hard. And that is why you have all of the angelic and interdimensional support that you could possibly have. So know in this fight you are not alone. Know that your mission is to sort of not destroy as much as it is to help that which is heavy and burdensome to be released, to be let go of. It doesn't have to be that dark. And frankly, the earth is never going to be as light filled as other dimensions and other vibrations. It's going to be better than it has been, but this is the place, one of the places where souls learn about balance. They learn about both sides of an emotion, a feeling, a behavior. It is part of the purpose of the planet. But you are striving to make that awareness and that understanding not be so far apart. You want to bring them closer so that you can still see both sides, still experience both sides, but without the extremes. It is very, very important that you continue your work. You are doing a really amazing job. You can't see it that clearly on your plane, but it is coming. More and more of you are shifting into that fifth dimension energy. You're moving into higher light, higher vibration. And as a result, you have more to give and offer, whether it is in an energy circle, whether it is with personal prayers, whether it is simply with setting intentions and focusing on them. Whatever work you are called to do in pursuit of the higher light energy, you are doing. And for those of you who say, I know I'm supposed to be doing something, but I don't know what it is, we once again recommend that you simply look at your life, look at your experiences, and understand that you're probably already doing it just as a matter of course, simply because it is a fundamental part of who you are. And if that does not satisfy, then search within and ask yourself, what can I contribute? See what your higher self says. Perhaps reach out to your guides and angels. But the answers are always there. Bringing attention to the idea of light versus dark is a vital, necessary, and unbelievably helpful intention to set. It brings clarity to the choices and decisions that need to be made. And it is a reflection of where the planet and its people are on their journey. We hope that this has been helpful and informative. We are always ready to answer your questions and concerns as you move through, each of you, the brilliant journey that is your soul print. We remain at this time Masudius. I gotta tell you, I'm not sure I have anything to add. So, until next time, stand in your energy and stand in your light. Bye for now.